In danger of offending people, I'm going to say something very controversial in the beginning. Ready? Okay, here I go. Never, ever, ever, ever pull guard. Okay? His initial shotgun. Okay, good. What do I mean with this? So actually, I'm gonna quote again one of my favorite Jiu-Jitsu instructors, Chris Houter. On one of his seminars that I attended, he said, never pull guard, pull a sweep. Sounds something very weird at first, something obvious maybe to some, but what does he actually mean with this? Let's have a look at this. Look, when you pull guard and you do not bring your opponent initially out of balance, then you end up on bottom in your guard and your opponent can react straight away. So it happens often, you pull guard and your opponent uses the moment of your guard pull to get an initial step ahead, maybe an angle, maybe a grip on you, and it's not very favorable. So in order for me, for example, I used to pull half guard for many years, would work well, and all of a sudden my opponent would jump over my half guard, and I end up with, well, I could recover, but I end up with an advantage against, and it took me out of my game plan, out of my flow, and I lost the match against the guy I actually beat many times before, but I knew my game plan. Now, what is the difference with pulling a sweep? A pulling sweep would be that you still pull your guard. For example, a collar drag, you try to get on top straight away. So maybe when you pull a sweep, you actually succeed and you end up on top 2 points ahead. Great start of the match. Or your opponent may defend your initial sweep attempt, but is out of balance, has to recover, get back to his center, and this allows you to get 1 or 2 steps ahead in your game plan. Maybe get some other grips, maybe go a little bit deeper in your guard, or whatever it is that you like. Now, what is a trade-off? There is always a trade-off when you start a match. In IBJJF tournaments, it's often the guard puller that wins the match. Why is that? I believe IBJJF rules are a bit biased towards the bottom player. Why? Well, for example, I like a pressure game. When I'm on top, it's very hard to look active when you're doing pressure passing because a lot of motion, it's small adjustments. Referees are often or sometimes not very knowledgeable about all the games or about the pressure passing game. So they're gonna give the points or stalling to the person who is less active. If you have a good guard, a good grip, especially the lapel guard these days, if you as an opponent, you just move your ass a little bit, jiggle around a little bit, it looks like you're active without taking many risks, and you will not be called a staller. On top, however, jiggling around brings you out of balance and lets your opponent move or get a favorable take on you. So that's dangerous. So because of that, the game is a bit biased towards the top player, towards the bottom player. So because of that, many people choose the game plan of pulling guard first. Now, then is a trade-off, a dilemma you have to make. Will I pull guard first, but allow on the bottom in a neutral moment, so my opponent in balance, or actually a moment where my opponent can already get a step ahead of me? Or do I wait to pull guard, but they give the chance to my opponent to pull guard first? Or maybe my opponent has very good takedown skills, and then by delaying my guard pull, I actually have a chance of getting taken down myself. So it's like a dilemma you have to take. When I was younger and quicker, and this is actually what I recommend to young and quick players, yes, do the double guard pull, go for the collar and actually go for the double guard pull. But then again, is it a smart game tactic because so many people focus on it these days? So there is also that. But for me, it's more now these days. It's more important for me to be a step ahead when I arrive than to be the first one on bottom. So whenever I pull guard now, I feel like I'm a bit off. So what I do these days, I just focus on my initial grip, which for me is, in Jiu-Jitsu at least, get the collar grip over here. I should maybe not tell people my game plan. Now, when I have the grip, I know from there, if my opponent pulls guard before me, then I have a very good chance of passing his guard or at least stop his initial guard attacks. And this can lead to my favorable game plan of how do I pass the guard with pressure. Now, if my opponent does not pull guard straight away, my collar grip gives me a very good chance of blocking the takedown attempts, and this gives me a chance to actually start setting up my guard pull attempt. And my initial guard pull attempt will be very powerful, and I try to get a sweep straight away, so my opponent is out of balance, he arrives in the middle, and I already have like 1 or 2 steps ahead before he can recover his balance. So the trade-off you have to make. So again, I repeat the power tip: do not pull guard, pull a sweep. Do you have any other of those powerful tips that you would like people to know or that you can share with me? I would love if you share it in the comments. So please share your power tips in the comments. I thank you to watch until the end of this video. Share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. See you in the next video.